on Jim Brown.
First of all, he's great. You know, he has tremendous tools and a great warrior, no doubt about it. We don't compare him, he's just great. Secondly, he has a father that is highly intelligent, a new breed of African-American father. His father keeps him balanced. Barry is a gentleman. He plays the game the way it's supposed to be played. His father keeps him balanced by giving respect to me, giving respect to our era, giving respect to family concept.
He was a man playing with kids. You know, he did basically what he wanted to do, and he's the most dominating player to ever play. And so I have a great deal of respect for him, and I was fortunate enough to meet him a few years ago in a preseason game. And yeah, it was a big honor.
Well, Barry, I had the opportunity to attempt to tackle him a few times, and he was unmatched.
You know, and I think they both said the same thing, that you don't compare. I mean, Barry Sanders isn't trying to compare himself to Jim Brown, and Jim Brown isn't trying to compare himself to Barry Sanders. I think they both say that, you know, that they enjoy each other and they enjoyed what they did, and it's kind of mutual respect.
Barry's case enjoys what he does and still does.
And you notice just looking at him, I mean he has those bright eyes,
yep.
You know, and they kind of sparkle, and you get the feeling that he knows something that the rest of us don't.
I'm sure he does. This is Pegram with the second half kickoff, and he tumbles at about the 20, and there's a flag on the play. And I'm sure because of the play it's thrown on, it's an illegal block of some kind.
Illegal block from behind during the run back, number 87. 10 yards. First down.
Howard Cross. First half statistics. 87 yards rushing by the Lions, most of it by number 20.
And then the Giants have more pass yards. Giants had 1 turnover. The Lions had 2. And the Giants got 7 of their points off one of those Lion turnovers, and time of possession 14 and 16, and everything in the stats are pretty close, and again it should be when you have a score tied at 10.
Indeed it should. Pat Summerall here with John Madden at the Pontiac Silverdome. Giant ball back at their own 10-yard line. 2 tight end setup. Cannell gives to Way. And Charles Way gets some running room and gets out to about the 25-yard line and up for a first down.
He was running over anything that got in sight there. If you're going to stand there in the sidelines, you better be ready to move.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Giant team doctor, Pat, that went down on that play. But watch Way. I mean, for a fullback, he has some little moves here.
Yeah.
Again, he doesn't go out of bounds. He just cuts back in and makes him knock him out of bounds right into the dock. The dock went down.
Flags go down on the next play. The doc got up with a smile, though.
Number 65.
Yeah, because the
5
doctors
yards.
have all the answers. I mean, he knows if anything really went wrong, he could take care of himself. And then their best friends are always other doctors.
Got to play with pain.
See, he didn't look like he had any pain, though, did he?
He will tomorrow.
That's right. I was thinking, you'll have the airplane flight home, and then tomorrow he'll wake up.
Yeah.
Because he probably used some muscles and going down and getting up that he hadn't used in a while.
I'm sure of that. Here's Way again. Let's again go down to Jennifer Hammond for a report.
All right, guys, it is Harry Cullen that has been taken off the field. He's been x-rayed. He has full movement in all of his extremities. The Lions are optimistic that he will be okay. He's undergoing all of these as a precaution. Back upstairs to you.
All right, that's obviously very good news. 2nd and 12. 2 tight ends. Cannell to throw it. The rush is on. Pass is caught by David Patton, but he's knocked backwards after a minimal gain. Corey Raymond was there to hit him.
There's an interesting guy, David Patton. A year ago, he was playing in the Arena League for the Albany Firebirds, and they clocked him. And Jim Fossil said, you know, we got a clock on him that was so good. He said it was unbelievable.
Don't tell anybody else's time.
I know Fossil calls it a clock. He said, we got a clock on him. He says, you should have seen the clock we got. It was unbelievable. Then we brought him, we got another clock on him. And he said, we had great clock on him.
4 wide receivers. Cannell pointing out the protection he'd like. Let's see if he gets it.
Any.
No.
See, that's the thing. They can't handle that 3rd and long. That was what plagued them in the first half, and it's the same thing here again. They just can't handle, whether it's these big linemen can't get up, or whether they're too quick, or the stunts, or or all of the above. Every time Danny Cannell gets back there, anytime it's 3rd and long and he gets back there, there's about 3 Detroit Lions on him.
Porcher was there first. So the Giants will have to punt.
I think the Giant offensive line is big and strong, but
not quick.
But the Detroit Lion defense is quick. The Giants moved on that one.
Ball start. Number
Back
52.
him up further.
5 yards.
Maynard. And punted. As Fossil in conversation with his quarterback. Dave Brown is the 3rd quarterback.
And Fossil says he doesn't have a quarterback controversy yet because Dave Brown's not ready to play, so Danny Cannell is his quarterback.
A good way for me to sit on the fence, he said. Not make a commitment. A good punt. Milburn gets it to the 49-yard line where the Lions will take over in pretty good shape. 10-10 tie in the 3rd quarter. John, there was a penalty on that punt return. Scores tied 10-10. But it was a huge penalty. They had the ball close to midfield. Now they're all the way back to the 20.
Yeah, what it was an unnecessary roughness penalty against Van Malone, and it wasn't from the spot of the return. It was from the spot that he caught the ball.
Oh, I see.
So what they really did is, in essence, the penalty became the penalty plus the return is what they lost.
28 yards in total. So they're now all the way back at their own 21-yard line. The Lions start from there. But it looked like they'd be close to midfield. Scott Mitchell with Barry Sanders behind him and 2 tight ends. Handoff Sanders. Starts up the middle and then wheels to his left, is taken out by Chad Bratsky.
And again, I'm sure that's what the Giants talked about at halftime is that we can't stand in the line of scrimmage. We have to get penetration. Larry Tharp better get back in the huddle on his side. And to get penetration, what you want to do is play on their side of the football. And that's what Bratsky did. I mean, he got penetration. He got across the line. And that's, if he gets started, Barry Sanders gets started, we can't stop him. But if we can get him before he gets started, we have a little chance.
Here's Mitchell back to throw. Gets the ball to Sanders, who is down and gets back up and gets out to the 30, just over the 30. Whitmer made the stop.
And you know, if you look at Barry Sanders, Pat, and you say that, he's not a tall guy, but look at his legs. He has very powerful legs. In fact, when he was in college, he squatted 580 pounds. He said he still squats now, but he squats like 315 pounds. But if you look from his waist down, that's where his power comes from. I mean, that's where the moves come from.
If he can squat 580 pounds, he's powerful.
Yeah, how can a bar even hold it? I mean, if you have 580 pounds on a bar, that's a bent bar.
Vardell tried for the first down. I'm not sure that he got it. Now, if he's got that strong legs, why isn't he playing on 3rd and short?
Well, that would be the next question. If you can squat 580 pounds, you ought to be able to gain a yard when you can gain 50 or 60 anytime you carry the ball.
They didn't get the first down.
They didn't get the first down. They're going to have to punt, which they're going to do. I mean, Bobby Ross can't take a shot. I mean, the fans don't like it. They're going to boo. When the score is 10-10, you have to punt in this situation. The Lions do it quickly. They get in, boom, they get in right now, get the ball snapped and get it off. There's those gloves on the field again.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff happening. Timeouts.
As soon as the umpire gets out of the way,
gloves on the field.
They could have snapped it or would try to snap it. They're the gloves.
Yeah, those are Tony Semple's glove. He's
right.
the left guard, number 62, and then he becomes the snapper on the punt. You can't snap with gloves. Yeah, right there, number 62.
Neither team had been set, and we were resetting the 25-second clock.
Neither team had been set. They were doing just exactly what you said, John. Hurrying. Semple was throwing his gloves back. I don't know if that's a violation or not. I guess not. It's a good kick by Jett. Toomer all the way out to the 32-yard line where the Giants will start their offensive thrust. But there's a flag on the play. It's going to be against Detroit.
Yeah, that's back there in the area of roughing.
If it's roughing.
Personal foul.
Personal
grabbing
foul.
the face mask, number 52 of the kicking team. 15 yards. Re-kick.
Scott Kolkowski grabbed the face mask. They'll move it back, and the Giants would accept this in spite of the good return by Toomer.
You're going to see 52 right there. You see Kolkowski, he grabs him right there. He was in fact, if he didn't grab him, that would have been close to being a block.
That was a fine punt by Jett. A good return by Armani Toomer. And the whole thing will be redone.
And now Toomer ought to get a better return on this one. A better field position.
Not as good a kick, and they certainly will. Toomer's still on his feet. Still on his feet. Armani Toomer's in the end zone.
Do you see the difference that time? He didn't go out of bounds. He got on the sideline. He cut back. And I believe if more players would cut back, they would get more touchdowns, just like Armani Toomer did on that one. First of all, you have the penalty, and then you get the low kick, and then you get good field position, and then Toomer gets up the sideline, and watch him on the sideline. Instead of going out of bounds, he just cuts it back in. You see, he's coming right up here. He gets a little block there. Then he cuts back in. Now he goes out to the sideline, but don't go out of bounds now. And now just cut back right here. You see, it seems like they get knocked out of bounds so much, but if they would just work on staying in bounds, they would find a lot more touchdowns.
His socks fell down. He still got into the end zone, and the Giants had the lead.
That'll happen when you're really running fast.
Yeah. All that was brought about by all those penalties. The Giants 17, Detroit 10. Turned by Armani Toomer. The first punt return for a touchdown since last year when the same guy did it against Philadelphia. 53-yard punt return. His third of his career.
You know, and that was all set up by the penalty.
Yeah.
Because remember, they had a repunt. Do it again, and Detroit had another 28-yard penalty before that. So that was some Giants, but a lot of Detroit penalty.
Milburn comes out of the end zone. Was finally slung to the ground at about the 32-yard line by David Patton. Almost broke it.
Yeah, if David Patton doesn't make that play, there's no one else here. I mean, there's just carpet and some numbers and stuff on that field for Milburn.
And he's got some speed. 17-10, the Giants lead Detroit. 9:13 left in the third quarter.
Well, that's the kind of play I think that Jim Fossil has brought to this Giant team. You know, it's not a spectacular team. There's no big guys. There's no Barry Sanders is there. There's not a lot of go-to guys, but they just play solid defense, good special teams, tackle well, crisp, those kinds of things.
They're showing them that Bear defense now. Here is Barry Sanders. And they showed him a quick reverse for Sanders that time. Right now for McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at the Fox Television Center in Hollywood.
Pat and John, Dallas operating without Daryl Johnston today. Here's his replacement. 35-year-old Herschel Walker 65 yards to pay dirt with that pass. Dallas outlasted Jacksonville. Of course, it'll be Dallas and Philadelphia next week. 35 years old and still fast. Pat?
17-10 here at the Pontiac Silverdome.
Giants are in that Bear defense again.
The pass is complete to Johnny Morton, and Morton gets into Giant territory. This is that pass he throws where he throws the ball behind him. He stops and the defender doesn't.
Yeah, because Felipe Sparks is right there. See, and Morton goes like he's going to run a fade, and they call this a fade stop. And then Morton can stop because he's looking back. He can stop faster than Felipe Sparks can stop. And that's a planned play. I mean, you have the fade where you just throw it up, then the fade stop where you fake like you're going up and just throw it short and stop.
Sanders. That's a good tackle by Sparks.
Yeah, Felipe Sparks came back. He was just beaten on that play by Johnny Morton on that fade stop. And that's one thing about both of these Giant corners. They're good run forcers. And when you play the corners up in press, when they're up on the wide receivers on the outside, if you run to that side, they have force. They have to come up and force the sweep.
2nd and 8. Lions at the Giant 45. Morton was the man in motion. Here's Mitchell. Pass deflected, intended for Herman Moore. Jesse Armstead back to get a hand on it. Armstead kept saying yesterday, we were talking to him, how to tackle Barry Sanders. Excuse me, here's the deflection.
Yeah,
deflection.
He's a good athlete.
Yeah.
I mean, he's good against the run. He's good against the pass. Jesse Armstead is one of those guys that, over the years, just seems like has come up with a lot of good plays, a lot of big plays for the Giant defense. In fact, he's a captain of their defense.
He was saying that you have to have 13 men tackling Barry Sanders. 13 men, they can't play that many, but Barry will be back. Flag on the play. Here's Mitchell, free play. Pass is caught by Moore. That's enough for the first down. Mitchell wisely kept on running. And so did Moore.
And that is, Pat, as you say, that's going to be a free one. Because if it were against Detroit, then they would have stopped the play. If it's against the defense, they let the play go.
75 of the defense. Penalty is declined. First down.
See, now here's the ball, and if you get inside the ball, that's what they call the neutral zone.
Hamilton.
The length of the ball. So they had Hamilton was one. I think they had two guys in that neutral zone.
Both defensive tackles, I think.
And then Scott Mitchell had that free play, and then he used it.
Mitchell on the roll. Fires in the middle.
Boy, that was a heck of a fake. That was a bootleg, but the first thing he did before he bootlegged out there to the left is he fakes to Barry Sanders. Now watch, Barry Sanders will go this way. Mitchell will fake here. Barry Sanders makes a good thing. Then Mitchell comes out here to throw the ball to Metzlar's coming across the field. You see that fake? Look at all these defenders going over there with Barry Sanders. And then when Mitchell gets out there, he has a wide open Metzler in a wide open area to throw the ball.
And another first down. He gives to Sanders. Sanders inside the 20, about the 17. Clock running 6 minutes, just over 6 minutes left to play in the third quarter, with the Giants leading by 7.
That's why the running game is so important. And everyone says we have to be able to run the ball, because when you can run the ball, then you can do things off it. Like you can go play pass where you fake the run and throw the pass. You can go bootleg like Mitchell just did on that last, or the play before, where you fake the run and bootleg out and throw it. Because if you can't run and you just have to every play just drop back and throw it, you can't pass protect long enough in this league.
And the throw and the run is what makes it. Mitchell. No flag.
Oh, that should have been a flag, because Michael Strahan had him.
Yep.
I mean, Strahan had him, and Mitchell threw that ball away.
Now there's a flag.
Yeah, there has to be. Watch Strahan. He's going to come here. Larry Tharp is blocking him. Strahan starts and just kind of lulls him to sleep. Gives him one of Reggie White's hump moves.
41 of the defense. 5 yards. Automatic First down.
Oh, that's a bad call.
That's a big one.
They didn't give it to Strahan, and then instead they called it against a holding against the Giant defense. Watch this. You see, he has him there, and he throws the ball away to avoid a sack. Now, that's illegal ground. He can't do that.
The penalty was called against Conrad Hamilton. Detroit first down, and they've moved inside the Giant 15. Mitchell to Sanders. Got to stay with it. Sanders to the 9-10 maybe.
You know, and I was watching Barry Sanders at practice the other day, and every time he comes up, you know, like he'll come up and just in dummy scrimmage, he'll come up and he'll make a move on a lineman. You know, I mean, he'll fake him and give him all that. Then he'll go make a move on a linebacker. Then he'll search out a defensive back. I mean, they can't tackle him or touch him in practice, but he'll search out a defensive back and then make a move on him and then run another 10 or 15 yards.
The kind of moves you can't practice. The fake is to Sanders. Mitchell is chased. Crowd thought it might be a touchdown by Johnny Morton.
Well, they've had good.
But it's incomplete.
They've had good success with that bootleg, but that time the Giants had better containment on it, and Mitchell, instead of after the fake and getting out there in that bootleg, instead of just standing out there and looking for Johnny Morton, he was kind of running and almost ran out of bounds before he threw that ball.
That almost ran over the line of scrimmage at the same time.
And we talk about the Giants playing at a faster pace. The Lions play at a fast pace also.
Third down. Mitchell straight back this time. Vardell dive. Incomplete. Didn't have it. Jason Hansen and the field goal unit come on for the Lions.
And Conrad Hamilton is right there with him, but the ball goes over his head. As you said, Vardell just couldn't hold on to it. He didn't get control of it before he went out of bounds. It was a pretty good throw, though, by Scott Mitchell.
Jason Hansen has hit once from 22. This one from 28. His 28-yarder is good. It's 17-13. The Giants still lead. We're in the third quarter at the Silverdome in Detroit.
Watch Robert Harris on this thing. He is really upset, and then everyone gets upset with him. He sits down. Look at Jesse Armstead there. Look at him start to yell at him. I don't know what's going on with that Giant defense on the bench.
That's John Fox right in his face, down on one knee talking to him. Hansen's kick sails back to the back of the end zone. Eric Pegram fields it, but doesn't attempt to bring it out. 17-13, Giants lead by Budweiser. Barry Sanders, 18 rushes, 88 yards, and the only Lion touchdown. Amani Toomer put the Giants ahead with that 53-yard punt return. Turnovers are 2-1. Detroit's had 2. The Giants 1. Points off those turnovers you saw just a moment ago. And the word we just got is very, very encouraging. Harry Colon, they tell us, is okay. X-rays have been taken, and he seems to be okay. The X-rays were negative, and the report is good. So that's the best news of the day.
That sure is, and that's what, you know, we talked about that earlier, that, you know, that when something like that happens, you know, everyone, all the concern of every player on the field on either side goes right to that injured player, and in that case Harry Colon. And then when you get some good news, it was X-rayed and the X-rays were negative, there's a sigh of relief in everyone's chest.
Canal gives to Wheatley. Wheatley gets only a couple. Tyrone Wheatley, of course, played at Michigan. How many tickets did he say he had to get to this game? 36?
Yeah, it was 36 because he was coming home, and you know, he wanted to come home here and have a big day. He said, you know, they don't get to see him back here in Detroit a lot, and since he's been playing for the Giants, and lo and behold, he comes here, and they're not going to see him here today because the game's blacked out in Detroit.
Yeah. 4 wide receiver setup for the Giants, 3rd and 8. The Lions show a blitz. Cannell comes out. He's hit just as he lets it go, and lets it go a strike to Armani Toomer. 1st down. You're correct, Armani.
Yeah, and that's what they had to do. They haven't had success on that because they haven't had a lot of success running. For example, Wheatley has carried the ball 9 times and only has 14 yards today. So they have to have a running game. Then when you don't have a running game, then you get into those 3rd and long, and then the Lions have just been teeing off on Danny Cannell, but that time he came through and got that 3rd down conversion.
1st down. That's Way with the ball this time, and Way gets to about the 41. Picked up 3.
When you talk to Jim Fossil, and he talks about Danny Cannell and his offense and everything, he always talks about managing the game, that he wants a good game manager, and that he thinks Cannell is a good game manager. And this is what he's talking about, this area right now. You got to lead 17-13. Just don't foul it up. Don't do anything stupid, and Danny hasn't.
2nd and 7. That's Charles Way, and he's got the 1st down. And all of a sudden, Charles Way is turned into the clutch back.
Well, you know what he does? He makes good cutbacks. I mean, he's a big guy and he's a strong guy, and he'll start to stretch a defense and then cut back. Watch how he does it. He starts to the outside like he's going there, and then he'll just cut right back. You see, he's looking to the inside. He's looking for the cutback. He's not looking where he's going. He's looking back to the inside to see if there is a cutback and the guy that he has to beat for the cutback.
Way goes about 250 pounds. And there he goes again. And he just sort of shuffles along and keeps going, doesn't he?
Yeah, but that's not a bad way to go. You don't take those long strides, so when they hit you, you always have a couple of feet in the ground. And when you have a couple of feet in the ground, then you have more power. See, they're not big old strides. He just kind of keeps them together, and then because he has them together, he can really unload at the end.
247 to be exact.
I like the way he's been running. I don't like the fact that he just took himself out. He raised his hand after that play and went out. I don't like that part of the deal.
Eric Wayne, but that's Wheatley. And Wheatley gets enough for Giant 1st down, straight ahead.
See, and that's what they had to do. They had to get that running game going. They said that, Wheatley really hasn't been doing it today, so they looked for someone else, and they found it in Charles Way, and now they can bring Wheatley back. Just watch Danny Cannell in the handoff here. You want to get it deep, and you want to fall down as you go deep. That'll throw that defense off. But what he's trying to do is get it back there deep to Wheatley.
That's Eric Wayne in front of Wheatley. Tyrone Wheatley to the line of scrimmage.
We were talking about this big offensive line of the Giants, and if it was going to wear on this smaller defensive line of the Lions, and if it is, it's going to start showing now. It's something that happens in the 3rd and the 4th quarter. That's like those body punches you start to feel, and that start to have an effect in the 7th, 8th, and 9th round. A big offensive line will have the effect at the end of the 3rd quarter and beginning of the 4th.
And that's the end of the 3rd quarter, with the score: the Giants 17, the Lions 13. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. In Pontiac, Pat Summerall with John Madden. 17-13, the Giants leading the Lions, and the Giants driving 2nd and about 8 at the Lion 30. This is Charles Way hammering away.
He won't be denied, will he?
No.
I mean, that's a combination. You talk about the Giants having a big offensive line, and then you add Howard Cross to that, and then you add Charles Way at 250 pounds. I mean, those are a bunch of big bodies that you have to fight and wrestle with all day. No, then it happens downfield too. I mean, these receivers and corners. Have you noticed, Pat, that seems to be going on more and more in every game we do, where receivers and defensive backs seem to get into it to establish who's tougher than whom.
Well, they start bumping each other right inside that 5-yard zone.
Listen to this crowd now.
Yeah. Cannell going deep for Toomer. Incomplete. And no flag. Brian Westbrook is the defensive back.
Yeah, Brian Westbrook is the rookie. He's the #1 draft choice of the Lions. So he knows if you're going to work on someone deep, if you need a big one, you're going to go deep on him. You always pick the rookie. The only thing is Brian Westbrook knows that as well as anyone. If you need a play, you're going to go against him.
So the Giant field goal unit is on 47 yards away. Daluiso with Maynard holding. No question but what he's got enough leg. And no question but that he's straight enough today. 1 from 52, 1 from 47. And the Giant leads increased to 20-13. Detroit. Yeah, that's a little bit larger than life. Barry Sanders.
Tyrone Wheatley was talking about that yesterday, being from this area, going to the University of Michigan. He says, how can you not know about Barry Sanders and have him your idol? He said, everywhere you go, there's big old pictures of him.
You should be aware of Barry Sanders. This is Milburn, who gets out to the 20. The countdown to the season premiere of the X-Files begins tonight with Agent Mulder's biggest mystery. Then in 2 weeks, secrets will be revealed in the television event of the year, the X-Files season premiere. The countdown begins tonight at 8 Central here on Fox.
I was just looking down there, Pat, and I see Robert Harris is in there now. So whatever problem they were having there in the Giant sideline, I think they got it solved or resolved for it right now.
Here's Mitchell to Moore for McDonald's game break. Let's again return to James Brown at the Fox Television Center in Hollywood.
Pat and John, it was a tough, hard-fought victory by the Eagles today over Arizona. Ricky Watters did score in regulation, but it took overtime for the Eagles to come away victorious. Next week, critical NFC East matchup, Dallas at Philadelphia. Most of you will see that. Back to Pat and John.
We'll see it. Here's Sanders. Shy of the 30 and shy of the first down.
You know, Chad Bratsky is one of those guys that plays defensive end. Is just a solid guy. I mean, he gets in there and he just works all day. I mean, he's there. He's solid. He's a solid pass rusher. He's solid against the run. Remember Bill Parcells used to call those guys lunch bucket guys, blue collar guys, and I think that's what Bratsky's all about. He's all about lunch buckets and stuff.
3rd and 2, and Sanders remains in the game as the deep back.
See how the lunch buckets do.
Incomplete. Herman Moore.
Oh, and Herman Moore prides himself into looking the ball into his hands, and he says anytime he ever gets in trouble is when he doesn't catch the ball with his hands and look it all the way into his hands. You see what happened? He didn't. He looked up to see where Jason Sehorn was.
Jets kick is a good one to Toomer. Fields it at the 20. They chase him out of bounds at the 26. The Giants will take over there, and let's see that big offensive line go to work now. Almost time for those big Canadian geese to head south. 1st and 10 at their own 27.
When do the Canadian geese head south?
It's time.
When the frost gets on the pumpkin?
Yes. Here's Charles Way. Still rumbling to the Lion 45.
Hey, that's a great rumble. He did, and you see Charles Way, he isn't looking for the sideline. He's not looking to go out of bounds. He's looking for a blue jersey downfield to hit. And watch him. He just keeps cutting back in. He gets to the outside, and now he's looking to the inside all the time, always looking for the cutback. Then he's trying to find someone who wants to tackle him. Then he wants to go to the guy who wants to tackle him and run over him.
28 yards by Way, who gets the carry again.
Heck, Way has 80 yards. You know, and this is where, you know, we were talking about the big offensive line. This is where they come into play right now. These guys here, Ogun and Bishop and Scott and Stone and Gregg, this is where they can take over a game. Those guys, along with Howard Cross at tight end and the big fullback, because now they have this Detroit defense worn down.
The smallest guy is the guy in the middle, and he's 300. That's the smallest guy.
Well, I love that kind of talk. With 300 small, now we're talking.
That's Tyrone Wheatley, hit by Robert Porcher, who is quick.
Yeah, Porcher is that quick guy, and Porcher's right here. And you're going to see, again, the thing you can't allow is penetration. He goes inside of Scott Gregg. I mean, Gregg has to you always have to step with your inside foot, always protect that inside gap. Robert Porcher just takes it. Watch him right there. You see when he stepped out, Porcher just took that inside gap on him.
There's no time to step for position on a play like that.
In fact, Gregg, I think Porcher knocked Gregg out of that lane so he could have it.
He just barely got this play off. Cannell, incomplete. Intended for Way.
You know, Bobby Ross was saying yesterday that he challenges a player in every game or something in every game. And for this game, he said he was going to challenge his defensive line. That if they were going to win this game, his defensive line had to win it at the line of scrimmage.
Maynard back for the punt. Milburn deep. Maynard standing at the Giant 40. Aiming for the out of bounds. Goes into the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20. (20-13). Back at the Pontiac Silverdome. The Giants 20, Detroit 13. Detroit's ball at their own 20. Three wide receivers for the Lions. Scott Mitchell. The quarterback Barry Sanders deep. And the handoff is to Sanders. To the 26. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League, is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Detroit Lions and the NFL is prohibited.
Now the Lions are in there with four wide receivers.
Right. And they give again to Sanders. Sanders is sort of used to running out of a one-back set. He did it all the years.
Well, that was good defense by the Giants, because what they're trying to do with four wide receivers, they're trying to spread them out, make them think pass, get in that nickel defense, get those defensive backs in there instead of linebackers, and then just run right at them. But watch Jesse Armstead. He's there. He's not going to be fooled at all. I mean, they just step in there and just make the play right there. Jesse Armstead, he didn't go for any pass or back up or do anything. He just stood there and stood in there big.
Third and short, big down for Detroit and the Giants. They'll go for a bunch. Incomplete. No flag. Intended for Morton. That's a strange call.
Yeah, and Tito Wooten had him zeroed in too. They were working over here on Sehorn, and what Sehorn is there, but Tito Wooten, number 29, he just has him zeroed in too. So there was no chance that Johnny Morton was going to get that ball.
There come the gloves flying out again. John Jett goes back to kick.
I think they're assuming that you're going to double Moore, so they're going to throw to Morton. But that time when the ball got there, Morton was doubled.
Toomer signals fair catch, makes it at the 30. The Giants will take over with just under 9 minutes, just under 8 minutes, just under 9 minutes. I'll get it right. Remain to play. 55 remaining. Pat Summerall with John Madden at the Silverdome in Pontiac. The Giants lead it 20-17. 20-13. Sorry.
Andy Cannell in there with his big fullback and the tight end in the backfield.
Here comes Charles Way.
See what they did? They took Aaron Pierce then. They started out as 2 tight ends. Now Charles Way is the only back there, but then they put Pierce back there, and then Pierce really became the fullback, and Charles Way became the tailback.
Reggie Brown is the injured Lion.
See, here's Pierce comes back in now just to be a blocker and lead for Charles Way coming to that side. See, so again, Way is usually doing that lead blocking that Pierce is doing right there, and then Wheatley would be running the ball. But when you get your big guys in there, you put your tight end in the backfield, and Way becomes a tailback. You know, watch this. See, when the guard goes like that, he's telling him that he's going to push outside and cut back inside. Did you see that? Open showed him. He patted his right side and said, I can take this guy out, cut off there.
Here's Way. No gain.
I don't know that Greg did it on that side. Oben did it on the left side. I don't know that Greg showed Way which way to cut before he had to know which way to cut.
If he did, it was the wrong way.
Here it is on the other side. And you see they're just man on man. They're just going after him. Porcher really plays that well. I mean, you know, Greg doesn't get any movement on him, so there's no hole there for Way, and he has to bounce outside. And that's not where Charles Way is going to do any good, when he has to bounce outside a defensive end.
3rd and long, 3rd and 6.
The Lions only had 10 guys in the field.
And they have a linebacker. Flag on the play. Cannell hold it up.
Delay of game
Bishop.
on the offense. 5 yards. It's still
Delay
3rd down.
against the Giants.
Bobby Ross is going crazy against Cole Koski down there. About the 3rd time he's been on him. He was the guy that held and let him watch him. He's going after. He just won't let him. He was, I don't know if he was supposed to be on the field or not, but he ran out there late on that last down, and then they took him out. He was also the guy, remember, that held and got the face mask that let the Giants get another punt return, and Toomer returned it for a touchdown.
And that's responsible for the lead. And Bobby Ross hasn't let up.
And he's not going to.
Here's Cannell back to throw. Screen pass is called. That's the Pegram. Pegram gets a few yards, but not enough for first. Jamison.
Hey, penalties haven't done either one of these teams too well. We talked about the penalties and how it hurt the Detroit Lions. I mean, the Giants have had 10 penalties themselves.
Clock still running. Maynard back to punt it. Milburn back deep for Detroit. Fumbled it. Got rid of it. Takes a giant bounce away from Milburn. Looked like it might be unfortunate. There's a flag on the play, however.
You know, and that's
somebody downfield.
Yeah, someone downfield, because when the ball's not snapped and then caught and then kicked right at the same time, usually someone will leave early because they're not watching. They're counting 1001, 1002, 1003.
And then they go.
And going.
Ineligible downfield on the kicking team, number 55. 5 yards. Repeat, 4th down.
Jerry Austin.
Yeah, and that will always happen. Anytime you get out of the rhythm, because obviously the punter is 15 yards back from the line of scrimmage, and the guys at the line of scrimmage aren't turning and looking to see when he punts.
They're just counting, as you said.
They're just counting, and then they're counting and assuming that there's going to be a rhythm, and then when that rhythm is out of rhythm, then there's going to be someone downfield before they're supposed to be.
Today's game is being produced by Bob Stinner, directed by Sandy Grossman, associate director Mike Roig, broadcast associates Fran Morrison and Charles McDonald. Maynard's kick is a dandy. Milburn signals fair catch, makes it at the 25. Broadcast associates Fran Morrison, Charles McDonald, technical producer Bob Mueller. The Giants 20-13. 6 minutes, just over 6 left. 6:06 left. Detroit ball at their own 25. Mitchell back to throw. Or so he thought. Hit down by Robert Harris.
Boy, did Robert Harris bring everything there. It looked like Mitchell didn't even see him. And usually when a guy will come straight up the middle, here's Harris, and he's going to come straight up the middle, the quarterback usually sees him and feels him. Here it looked like Mitchell just stepped right into him before he even felt him or saw him. Boy, that was a jolt.
Second and 15, Mitchell. Incomplete.
Good coverage by this Giant defense. These two corners, you know, Felipe Sparks and Jason Sehorn have done an excellent job on these wide receivers.
They're both big. They're both quick. They're both tough.
Yeah, and Tito Wooten has helped out too. I mean, they've really, you know, they haven't given these wide receivers a lot of space to move in there. And anytime they go inside, that guy right there, Wooten's been waiting for him all day.
Third and 15.
You would think somewhere they have to think if they need a big play, their big play guy is Herman Moore here.
Well, sure, the Giants think just that. And it is Herman Moore. And that's enough for the first down. It's high. It's where he likes it. Good throw by Mitchell.
Yep, they move him around. They have Herman Moore in a slot here. He's going to come up and run a corner pattern over to this side. I mean, this is a guy that you want to get the ball to. He's the top wide receiver in the league right now. And when you get it to him, you want to get it high. You see there were 3 Giant defenders there, and Mitchell just threw it right into that big pile, into that big circle, and Herman Moore just jumped up and got it.
Here's Mitchell. Passes dropped by Morton. He had it and lost it. Herman Moore, beg your pardon.
I don't know how that ball got out of there to Moore. You know, if you look at Mitchell, I think it came out sideways, but he needs plays now. He needs to get the ball up the field. So when he needs plays, he's going to try and get it to Herman Moore. The only problem was he got it there at the same time 2 Giant defenders got there.
And if he had it, they ripped it loose. Moore's wide right this time. Passes out to Vardell. Vardell goes out of bounds at about the 46-yard line of Detroit. Jesse Armstead took him out of bounds. That stops the clock with 4:49 left.
And see what the Giant defense has to be thinking now is of course they want to stop the first down, but they know that Detroit is thinking touchdown. Detroit has to get a touchdown, so you're not defending field goal position, you're defending touchdown. And then of course on third down, specifically on this down, you're defending about 5 yards.
3 wide receiver setup. Flag on the play and never got underway. So this has to be against Detroit.
Yeah. Robert Harris is pointing to Detroit. He was the guy that jumped, but he's going to say that they made him jump.
Ball start, number 64, 5 yards.
Yep,
It's still third down.
Jeff Hardings, who is a right guard who plays across from Harris. And you're going to see him make a move right here. And then you're going to see Harris jump too. You see the little move right there. He starts to go back, and Harris is smart enough. When he starts to go, he's reading his down hand. And when that down hand moves, as a defensive lineman, boom, you move.
So it's 3rd and 10. Mitchell drops. Here's Vardell down to the 31-yard line. A clutch first down by Detroit.
A heck of a throw by Scott Mitchell too, standing in there. Watch him come back. Vardell is a back. He's going to be coming right down here, and he just runs that seam pattern. Remember the one that for years that Mark Bavaro for the Giants ran as a tight end pattern? He ran that as a fullback right out of the backfield, and you just run straight up the seam, and you hit the seam of a zone.
What a good throw, as you said. 1st and 10 at the Giant 31. 3 wide receivers. But the handoff is to Sanders. Sanders to about the 26.
I was saying at that last commercial, I could smell overtime here. And you just get the feeling that this game is going to go into overtime. It's been that kind of game, back and forth. I mean, no one has taken over this game. And at some point you have to take it over and dominate it, and then you win it. But in this case, neither team has taken the game over.
Certainly neither has dominated. 2nd and 5. Sanders again, no gain. Sam Garnes from his safety position up to make the hit.
Well, John Fox likes Sam Garnes. He was saying of all the players when he came here, his biggest surprise was Sam Garnes, who's a rookie. Said the second biggest surprise was Corey Widmer, his middle linebacker, and pleasant surprises I'm talking about. Guys that he really wasn't counting on to be that big for him that have stepped up big for this defense.
Garnes is a big, strong guy, a big, good safety man. Here's Mitchell back to throw. To Moore. That's enough for the first.
I think when you get on the passing down and they need a play, you know that they're going to go to Herman Moore, and I think you have to get someone out on and you have to hit him right on the line of scrimmage. I think if you let Herman Moore come off the line of scrimmage like this free and you don't get a bump on him, he's going to get the first down. You can't let him freeze you, and that's exactly what he did to the Giant defense on that play.
And that's exactly the reason the Lions move him around like they do. Sanders knocked out of bounds after he picked up about 3.
But Jason Sehorn, he was talking about that. He said, you talk about something that'll frazzle your mind. Sehorn was saying is having to cover a tall receiver and tackle a short back. The tall receiver being Herman Moore and the short back being Barry Sanders. He said that's a day's work for a man. But he's been doing a heck of a job of it because they haven't worked a lot on Jason Sehorn. And anytime they've come to his side, he's handled it.
Here's Mitchell. Swings it outside to Sanders. Sanders inside the 5 to the 4. Jason Sehorn made the stop. It'll be 1st and goal at that point, and we have the 2-minute warning. 20-13, the Giants lead, but the Lions are close.
Miller Lite.
Giants 20, Detroit 13. 1st and goal at the 4 to tie things up. Mitchell fake to Sanders, fires, touchdown. Johnny Morton.
That bootleg to the left has been getting them all day. You know the left-handed quarterback, that's the only way that he's going to bootleg. And when he starts bootlegging and it's successful, he's going to bootleg that way all day. The bootleg, again, is where you fake to the back one day and one way, and the quarterback goes the other way.
Those of you who've just joined us expecting other programs here on Fox, the world's funniest, we're about to see a tie game as Jason Hansen hits the extra point and makes it 20-20 with 1:55 left. Here again, the touchdown pass from Mitchell to Morton.
Again, it starts with a bootleg, and you make a good fake because everyone's keying here. You see they want to fake to Barry Sanders. Now look what that does to the defense. It brings them all here, but here's the guy who has the ball right here. Now he's able to come out here with the option. Look at the time that he has and the vision that he has, and he can find Johnny Morton or anyone in the back of the end zone. Here's Johnny Morton. He starts on the right side. He's running all the way across. He's open all the way. Scott Mitchell, after that fake, sees Johnny Morton and hits him for the touchdown. But that play has been big, big, big for the Lions today, that bootleg left.
A 20-20 tie, still a lot of time left. 1:55. For those of you, again, expecting to see the world's funniest, it'll be seen following football, except on the West Coast, where it'll be seen at its regular time. The Lions have just tied the Giants at 20. just after the 2-minute warning. Bobby Ross, the new head coach in Detroit, against Jim Fassel, the new head coach in New York. One of the 2 new head coaches in New York, Eric Pegram, as Hanson's kick sails 5 yards deep into the end zone. The Giants will start from there.
You know, it's going to be interesting now how the Giants play this, Pat. They have all their timeouts, but they don't have great field position. When you start in the 20, if you make a mistake here, you lose the game. Any mistake, any turnover, any fumble, any interception, any of those kind of things, you lose because they'll be in field goal position right away. So now do you play conservative? Do you go to your running game? Do you try and run time off the clock and get first downs? That's what I think you do. I don't think you put it up. I don't think you open up anything. I think you keep things tight and just pound right at them.
They're going with the shotgun, so I'm not sure they necessarily agree. Yes, they do. Pegram takes the draw play.
I think they agree, but they just want to do it in a different way. And again, that's the same thing where you make them think that you're going to pass, you spread it out, and then you run right at them.
Pegram got a first down outside the 30, 1st and 10, clock still running. This time Cannell's going to throw, and does, to Pegram again. This time no gain, and now Detroit takes a timeout, or should.
Yeah, both teams have all their timeouts. I think they're both playing for overtime.
I think so. It looks like it.
I don't think that they want to take a timeout.
They didn't.
I think the Detroit Lions players want to take a timeout. The Giants, I think, management, if they don't get a first down here, I don't think they want a timeout.
Of course
I think
not.
if they don't, I think that Detroit should take one.
Cannell. They don't get a first down.
Yeah, I don't know. The Giants are taking a timeout. I don't think they'd want a timeout there in that situation. Because now what happens if they now they have to throw on this 3rd down, and if it's incomplete, then that's going to stop the clock, and then the punt will stop the clock again, a change of possession. Detroit will get the ball back.
Again, a reminder, following football, those of you who expected to see the world's funniest, except on the West Coast, this is not the world's funniest.
No, but this is pretty good. This
is pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, if you were expecting something else and you're seeing this, you're seeing something pretty good. This is football that's really been played well. It's been a tough game. It's been good tackling, a crisp play, guys going after each other, gang tackling, all those kinds of things. This game is being played with the intensity of a game at the end of the season or a playoff.
3rd down, 46 seconds left to play. Andy Cannell. 2 tight end. Pitches back to Wheatley. And Wheatley is stopped short of the first down. And now the Lions quickly call a timeout.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the Giants took a timeout before that play and then ran that play. I would have thought at that play, when you didn't get the first down and got the 3rd down, I thought you had to try and run the clock out then. But they thought differently. They took a timeout. They decided to try and get it to Wheatley to get out to the outside. Detroit defense has just been a swarming defense all day. I mean, their speed, their quickness, they don't have trouble. The trouble this defense had was that power inside running, not that outside running. That wasn't going to get it.
Boyd made that key tackle. Brad Maynard back to punt. And back deep is Milburn. The Lions still have 2 timeouts. 39 seconds remaining. 20-20. Good snap. Good kick. The high kick sails over Milburn's head. Bouncing close to the end zone, bouncing at the 5, and it's going to be down right there. What a good punt. What a good punt by Maynard. No flags, and the Lions.
I tell you, when a rookie can come in and make a punt like that on the road in this situation, tie score, 26 seconds to go, and you need that punt. I mean, the Giants at that point, Maynard was their most important guy on this football team, and he made the play for him. By the way, he was drafted in the 3rd round, though, too. Huh?
Yeah. Ball rolled dead just outside the 5, 1st and 10.
Now here Detroit is probably just going to take a knee here. See, because they couldn't afford a mistake here. Again, you make a mistake down here and you lose the game. So I'm surprised that the Giants before didn't play for overtime. Detroit right now is playing for overtime.
They're going to let it run out. And there's the overtime rules. A coin toss will determine the possession. There's 1 15-minute quarter. 2 timeouts for each team, and the first team to score wins it. So the coin toss, although they say it's so important, if you look at the breakdowns over the years, it's about half and half. The team that wins the coin toss doesn't always win the game.
And an overtime fact, this year the home team is 7-0, but those things don't mean anything right now. What we're talking about right now is who plays the best.
We'll follow the coin toss. Callaway comes out. For Shea. Glover.
Who's going to call the toss? Who's going to call?
Visiting team calls it.
Call it in the air, please. Tails. Tails he calls. It is a tail. You've won the toss. Step over here, please. You only won the toss. They will receive. Good luck, man.
This Fox NFL Overtime is brought.
And don't forget, following football, the world's funniest. As Jason Hansen tees it up. The Giants, Chris Callaway out, won the toss. Giants took the ball, of course. Eric Pegram back deep. Jason Hansen to kick it off. We're in overtime. Pegram will have a chance with this one. From the 2. And down he goes at about the 17.
You know, funny thing happened, Pat, during that break in there between the 4th quarter and overtime. Brad Maynard and Brad Dalowiso went out to practice field goal. They went down on the other end, down on the far end of the field to practice field goal. Maynard was holding for Dalowiso, and the officials kicked him off.
Can't do that.
But you can't go out and practice?
No.
Maybe that was trying to psych the other team out, that they thought the Giants were going to drive down the field. Dalowiso was going to kick a field goal.
Cannell 15 out of 29, 1 touchdown, 1 intercepted. First down Giants. Cannell back to throw. Out to Howard Cross, who gets outside the 25 to about the 27.
You know, one thing you have to like about Howard Cross and Charles Way, the same way, when you get the ball to these big guys, they don't run sideways. They get the ball turned and they run it up the field. And you know they're sure-handed, and you know that they're going to make piles go backwards and create situations like this. 2nd and 2. These are great situations to call a play.
2 tight ends. Cannell appears to be changing the play. And the handoff is to his fullback Charles Way, and Way hammers for the first down.
You know, one of the things as a coach that you always teach is finish off your runs. And that's what Cross did on that play, and that's what Charles Way did on the next play to get the first down. Now, you got the ball, you're going to go inside, you bounce to the outside, then you get your shoulder square, then you turn up, then right there you finish it off. You see, and by finishing off, you gain about 3 more yards in your finish.
Way has had a big day. 20-20, 1st and 10. 20-20 to score. The line of scrimmage at 31-yard line. Here's Cannell. To Way, who makes the catch. There's a flag on the play, but Way's headed for the end zone. Flag on the play. I beg your pardon. It's Callaway, not Way. There's a flag on the play, but Chris Callaway.
Holding, 31 defense. Penalty is declined.
Touchdown.
Touchdown. The game's over. The Giants won. Isn't that something?
Now they have to kick the extra point, right?
No, they don't.
They
Not
don't?
in overtime. Yeah, in regular time, you have to kick the extra point. In overtime, you don't have to kick the extra point because it's sudden death. The first team to score wins, and the first score is a touchdown. Here's Callaway right here, and you see he makes an out-and-out move right there, and this ball by Danny Cannell is perfectly thrown.
68 yards, the touchdown pass.
Corey Raymond was on him, and Corey Raymond looked like he went to tackle him, and I think that's the holding penalty. But it would have been a touchdown anyway. Look, a little play pass. Danny Cannell throws a perfect pass here to Chris Callaway. He gets behind Corey Raymond, who tries to tackle him. He scores. The game is over. The Giants are in first place in the Eastern Division.
And that play of the game is brought to you by Energizer. Look at Danny Cannell.
Yeah, I don't know that Danny Cannell will ever come out as the starting quarterback of the Giants, especially after a performance like this in a time like this.
26-20.